You know that feeling, right? That endless cycle of losing weight, feeling great, and then, somehow, it all comes back. It's so frustrating, and it's easy to feel like it's some kind of personal failure. But what if it's not about you? What if it's about your brain? Let's dive into a whole new way of looking at weight.
And listen to this. This isn't just some random quote. That's Dr. David Kessler, the former head of the FDA. When a guy like that admits to this lifelong struggle, it tells you something really important. This is a human thing, not a character flaw. For as long as we can remember, the story has been all about willpower. Just eat less, try harder, have more discipline. But what if that's the wrong way to look at it entirely? This one question kind of changes everything.
And that's where things get really interesting. The latest science is showing us that the real battlefield isn't the gym or your kitchen counter. Nope, the war is actually being fought inside your head, in the complex wiring of your brain.
And just look at the scale of this. We're not talking about a small fraction of people. Nearly 3 out of every 4 adults in America are considered overweight or obese. That's not an epidemic of weak wills. That's a sign that our environment is fundamentally broken.
So let's meet the main villain in the story, hyper-palatable foods. These aren't just your average tasty snacks. Think of them as scientifically engineered products, precision-tooled with just the right mix of fat, sugar, and salt to light up your brain's reward center like a Christmas tree. They're designed to make you overeat.
And if this all sounds a little familiar, it should. It is almost the exact same playbook the tobacco industry used for decades. They manipulated nicotine to make cigarettes more addictive. The food industry engineers craveability. It's not about feeding people. It's about creating a product that's almost impossible to stop consuming.
For about 20 years, the leading theory was that people with obesity had fewer dopamine receptors. The idea was they had to eat more just to feel the same level of reward. Makes sense, right? Well, brand new research has completely flipped that on its head. The new thinking is it's not a deficiency at all. It's the opposite, a higher baseline level of dopamine, a system that's constantly revved up.
So how does this brain hijacking actually work? Well, the first time you eat that delicious food, you get a nice hit of dopamine. Feels good. But pretty soon, your brain gets smart. The dopamine hit doesn't come from the eating anymore. It comes from the cues, just seeing the logo or smelling the food. Your brain is conditioned to crave the reward before you've even taken a bite. It's a powerful loop, and it looks a lot like what happens in substance abuse disorders.
And this whole process has serious consequences that go way beyond just gaining weight. The real danger is a little-known thing called lipotoxicity, or toxic fat. This is literally when fat starts overflowing and gets stored inside your vital organs, like your liver and pancreas, causing all sorts of inflammation and damage from the inside out.
And the fallout from that toxic fat? It is staggering. We now know that excess body fat is a key driver behind at least 200 different diseases. We're talking about the big ones, like type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but also things like sleep apnea and even some cancers.
This quote from a top diabetes expert, Dr. Ralph DeFronzo, puts it perfectly. He's saying we've had it backwards. We thought diabetes was its own problem, but really it's a symptom. The root cause is obesity, the state of fat overload. Okay, so try to picture your body's system like a set of scales. On one side, you have all the things that make you want to eat, the reward signals. And on the other side, you have the things that tell you you're full, the satiety signals. It's a constant balancing act.
The problem is, our modern world is constantly, and I mean constantly, pressing down on the weight gain side of the scale. We're bombarded with food ads. We're surrounded by highly processed foods. We're stressed out, tired, not sleeping enough, all of which messes with our hormones and pushes us to eat more.
But here's the good news. We can push back. We can tip the scales the other way. Things like protein, fiber, and healthy fats all help us feel full and satisfied. And now there's a new, incredibly powerful player on this side of the scale, GLP-1 drugs.
So, what exactly are these drugs? Well, they're pretty clever. They work in 2 main ways. First, they copy a hormone from your gut that tells your brain, hey, we're full in here, so you feel satisfied with less food. And second, they go right into the brain's reward center and turn down the volume on all that food noise and cravings. It's like a 1-2 punch against hunger.
And the results are absolutely a game changer. We're talking an average weight loss of 15% or more in clinical trials. To put that in perspective, for many people with type 2 diabetes, a 15% weight loss is enough to put the disease into remission. That's huge.
And just look at how this compares to older drugs. For years, the best we had might get you 5 to 10% weight loss, and often with pretty rough side effects. These new GLP-1 drugs are in a completely different league. It's a massive leap forward.
Okay, but here's the really crucial thing to understand. These drugs are a treatment, not a cure. Obesity is a chronic disease, like high blood pressure. And just like with blood pressure meds, if you stop taking the drug, the underlying problem is still there, and the weight often comes right back. And that brings us to maybe the most important point of all. These drugs are incredible tools. They give you the biological upper hand. But for real lasting change, they have to be paired with a smarter, more sustainable approach to how we eat.
So what does that actually look like? Well, experts point to a few key principles. First, prioritize protein. It helps you feel full and protects your muscle. Second, eat mostly plants, whole, real foods that fight inflammation. Third, don't be afraid of healthy fats, from things like olive oil and avocados. And finally, be smart about carbs. Less sugar and starch, more fiber from veggies and fruits. It's about creating a stable biological environment for your body.
In the end, what all this new science really gives us is a path to self-compassion. This struggle isn't a moral failure. It's a complex, chronic condition. There's no magic bullet, and everyone's journey is going to look a little different. It's about long-term management, not a quick fix.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We live in a world that is, frankly, designed to make us sick. The old advice to just try harder feels pretty empty in the face of that. So maybe our most powerful weapon isn't willpower at all. Maybe it's knowledge, understanding our own biology so we can finally start fighting the right battle.